So you've still got a little bit of excess to get rid of. Just so you know, on skirts and pants, the usual amount of wearing ease, that means the ease that you have when you're actually putting it on, is 1/2 inch in the whole total. If you have it to exactly your measurement, it's going to be really tight and horrible, you won't feel very comfortable. If it's looser than that, it'll just hang off you. So waist ease, you want about 1/2 inch, so it doesn't grip you really badly. But you can see that on the front, we've got quite a nice fit. We don't really need to take anything out of the front, but we do need to take stuff out of the back. And this is the easiest thing in the world. You need to decide where you want to take it out from. On this one, it's quite clear to me it needs to come out from here, from this area here. Sometimes it might want to come out from here, and sometimes from here, or a combination of them. It doesn't matter. You will see when it goes on here, because you'll see you get excess. For instance, down here, you want to take some out over the bottom, because this stem's got a very, very, very flat bottom. So, best thing to do with this, you've already got a dart in here, is just continue the dart up. Pinch it out, go along your dart seam line, and just pin it out like that. Easiest thing in the world. Do it all the way to the top, even though this does not have a dart in this. What you'll end up doing is something like this. Hang on, I'm just going to do the centre back as well. You see we've got flat bottom city here, so we're just going to pin that out and make sure that it's not sort of baggy, because baggy bottoms are never good. Never, ever, ever. So we're just taking a tiny little bit more in there than we would normally do, and then it's going to come out again at the top. And you see, doing muslins like this, doing fittings like this, is what can give you that very, very slick fit, that really kind of beautiful, very high-end fit. Even if it's just a simple pencil skirt for work or a simple skirt for going out in the evening, it's going to fit so much better. So you're looking at this dart here, and we've elongated it up to the top. So far, so good. Question now, do we need to take any more out of here? I think we do. We just want to elongate that dart at the bottom just a tiny, tiny bit. It kind of stops all the drag lines and all the puckers and all the kind of the things that you're getting ready to wear as a matter of course. Now you see that drag line there? See it? It's going to disappear. Watch as I make it disappear as if by magic. Just taking out a tiny bit more on the dart. Okay, so now it's looking much neater. Now here's what you do. You take your trusty pen. This is why you're not going to wear a muslin. You're going to draw all over it. And you're going to draw in your new dart point and your new dart all the way up to here. Now you probably won't use such a thick pen. I'm using this so you can see it, and I hope you can see it. So I'm drawing it in up to here, and that's where my new dart's going to be. So that's the back bit done really, really easily. Now obviously if I'm fitting this in real life, I'm going to do the other side as well, but you know, I'm doing it for YouTube, so let's move on, shall we? So we go over to the side here, and we can see that, well, we've got a little bit of excess here over the hips. Now this, I'm not going to get too stressed about, because it depends what my fabric's going to do. So this is the kind of thing that I'm going to leave until I cut it in my real deal fabric, because my fabric may want that excess, it may want it to just hang beautifully, and that's fine. We go round to the front, and we've still just got a little teeny weeny bit of excess through here, but not down here. The darts are fine. So what we're going to do is take it out through the centre front, which again is simple, simple, simple. That's why I've drawn the centre front seam. Just pinch it out until it disappears. Now do bear in mind, when you've done this, you're going to alter your pattern. But because of course you do trace off your patterns, don't you? Of course you do. You're not going to ruin the original patterns. If you want to go back and redo it, it's really easy to do. So you want to pinch this out, and this will probably go all the way to the hem. Now this one, because it's just a straight line up and down, I'll mark it on the pattern, but not on the muslin, but truthfully I wouldn't normally, I just measure it off and take it off the pattern. But that's okay. So again, here's why we're not wearing our muslins, because we're drawing all over them. Now, there's your muslin kind of fitted, and you have to accept as well that muslin being muslin doesn't hang in the way that a nice fabric would. It just kind of sits there, but that's good for our purposes. So we've decided for on this one we want to take a little bit out of the centre front. It's probably 3/8 of an inch in total out of the centre front. We want to leave the side seams, and we want to shape in the back darts and the centre back. And the centre back, instead of going straight, now goes in a little bit like that over the bottom. Okay? So that's all pretty easy. Now what happens if you want to do something like drop the waist down? You might decide you want to drop the waist down. Alright, here's what you do. I'm going to show you on this half here. Okay, really easy. You might say, well, this is all well and good, but I want it a little bit lower. I want it to finish here. Fair enough, no problem. Easy peasy to do. Draw in your new finished edge, and then you kind of say, well, how deep is this? This is 1.25 inches deep, so you go 1.25 inches down from there, and you draw in your new contoured waist area. That's pretty easy. All you've got to do is transfer those markings onto your pattern. It's really, really simple. And let's have a look at one little fitting issue that you might find. And this is useful. You can apply this to any kind of body shape, whether the bumps and lumps are in the same places or not. And before we do that, I'm just going to tell you that as far as I'm concerned, there are no such thing as figure faults. There's nothing wrong with your figure. Your figure's fine as it is. You may, however, have fitting issues, and that's fine. We all do. Everyone does. Believe me, even supermodels do. So if you have a look here, you'll see that I've drawn in 3 lines. I've drawn in the normal side seam, but I've also drawn in a curved line here and a curved line here. And this is what will happen if you are fitting a muslin on someone who's got a rounded tummy. You'll get that, and a rounded bottom. You'll get that. But it's a really, really easy fix to deal with. Here's all you do. It will pull, the side seam will pull forward at the front if you've got a rounded tummy, so you need to add this section from the side seam there onto the front. That'll give you the extra you need. And the same thing you do on the bottom bit. If your side seam is dragging to the back like this, you need to add that piece onto the back at that point. It's really, really simple. That's all you do to fix that problem. And once you've done that and you true it up, you will find that your side seams look like this again, all nice and even. That's exactly as it should be. So once you've done this, you basically take this off and you chop it up. You cut along this line, for instance, you cut along that line, and you put it onto your pattern, and you retrace your pattern so it actually looks like your muslin. Now, I did say to you at the beginning, this is not a muslin master fitting cut. It really isn't, because this is a real quickie one. But actually, muslins are actually quite quick to do. They're not one of those things you've got to spend days and days on retweaking and retweaking. And one of the issues that I find with people who email us in and say, I'm having a real problem with this muslin, is they're overthinking it. You don't need to overthink it. Just muslin. You can do this. You really can do this. It's the simplest thing in the world. It's also one of the most boring things in the world, but it must be done. It's a bit like eating your spinach before you have your dessert. It's got to be done. So I would say, do your muslin, fit it, draw all over it. Feel free to do whatever you want. I mean, you might decide, I don't know, I want a centre front seam in here, or maybe I'm going to put my seam through this area here, down there. You can do all this stuff. You know, you write notes on it, blah, blah, blah. It's done. It's really, really easy. So now you do your muslin, you alter your pattern, and then you make your garment. And so to finish up on the muslin side, I'm just going to tell you a few other things. The first thing is, once you've made and fitted muslins for your garments, I'm afraid ready to wear will be a closed book to you. I'm very sorry, but it will, because you'll try on ready to wear garments and you'll suddenly realise they look dreadful, they look so bad, they fit so awfully. The other thing that you will find, especially the first few times you try on a garment that you've made and fitted with your muslin, is you'll try it on, you'll look down and you'll think, oh yes, fits beautifully. You'll look in the mirror and you'll go, that's strange. Why is it strange? And you'll suddenly realise, the penny will drop, you'll suddenly realise it's because it fits so well. You have no muffin top, you have no drag lines, you have no bunching, no pulling, it'll look really good, but the first few times you do it, it's a little bit strange because you're kind of not used to it fitting so well. And the final thing to tell you is, on my notes, oh yes, really good interesting thing about making muslin is this. When you've made your muslin, you've fitted your muslin and you've made your garment that fits you beautifully, you all of a sudden discover that you can often wear styles you didn't think you could because they fit you properly. I promise you, this is one of those really quirky things. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden all the styles in the world are open to you, because everyone has their kind of figure issues that they want to deal with. But really, styles that you didn't think were possible for you, they really will become possible for you once you make and fit your muslin. So I hope this has been useful to you. I know it's not, as I say, an in-depth one, but it's a good start point. And if ever you're tempted to make one without a muslin, please don't, I beg you, please don't. You will get so much better results, so many better results with making the muslin, and it's going to make your sewing faster as well. So thank you very much for watching this one, the muslin clip. Now go and see our beautiful variations of our lovely, plain and simple, 24/7 A-line and pencil skirts.